secure here. What? Prison camp at the taxi company. Only thing this chip is good for now is so they can hunt me down like a dog. It's coming out. Now.
Okay, Shalom.
Shalom.
Alright, first and foremost, like always, I'm going to give infinite praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash.
Double honor to the apostles and others who are great most on JMS who were well and taught us this truth. Peace and salutations be unto you, fellow Akim, your brothers that are also pushing out this word in true faith and sincerity. Alright, unto you we say Shalom.
Shalom.
Alright, in Lord's will, and in post-production, actually, you've seen a clip, alright, which was a short cutscene from a video game called Dead Rising 3, alright? Now, of course, what's crazy about it is that this game was released back in 2013, alright? And as we know, we're now in 2020, the year of prophecy, alright, as titled by our elders and apostles, alright, which is rightly titled, alright, the year of prophecy, alright? That's because as of right now, we have the infamous coronavirus raging throughout the nations, alright, which is now a pandemic, alright, which is now in the U.S. And as of this morning, we had it reached Rhode Island, alright? What was it? I think the second case of the confirmed coronavirus, alright? So
It's on the East Coast now.
It's on the East Coast now, alright? So this thing is only going to get worse and worse, and this is also dictated by prophecy. And the reason I wanted to bring that clip out was because that was in a video game made by Esau, alright? And this was shown in our faces even back in 2013. And now us as the prophets of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, okay, we have to tell you, mostly the gospel is targeted to our people, all right, the sincere ones out of the bunch, all right, because this is prophecy, all right, prophecy relating to life and death, mostly talking about the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, all right, which is very, very important prophecy, all right. So you might as well
and how it plays into how it can fit into this pestilence, you know. Because the pestilence itself, like I say real quick, the pestilence itself was prophesied about, you know, even Yahweh Shai mentioned it in Matthew's 24th chapter, you know. That's something that has to occur, you know. And now we see this virus spreading, and it can involve, you know, the microchip, you know, by the
microchip.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the perfect. Go ahead, read the.
Yeah, Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Yeah, so right off the bat, we already know that he's talking about what Esau, Edom, and that system, the beast system, or NATO and the EU and the other nations, all in this conglomeration. To push forth that product, or that product being the RFID microchip. And then we're looking for that opportunity that causeth. Something has to cause something, all right, which in turn goes to the effect, and that effect being the pushing out the advertisement of the RFID microchip. And that causeth has to be something grand. And that's what I was about to say, that this disease is that perfect opportunity, all right, that opening for that causeth. All right, that opening for the push of the RFID microchip. You already have Bill Gates pushing out the vaccinations, and people are already just making memes, you know, saying that if Bill Gates were to push out a vaccination for this for the virus, all right, he ought to take it himself first. All right, but that out of the way. Back to the video game. All right, what's crazy about this is that it was very, very spot on when you actually read about it in the wiki. All right. Because once you actually read in the plot, all right, it's very, 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 very spot on and very similar to how it's happening now concerning the CDC and the WHO, the World Health Organization. All right, so
these things were
real quick, I just want to say that Lord's will we actually have it edited in the video, all right, the actual text from the wiki of this the video game Dead Rising, all right. because very much so, what's going to happen in today, all right, it's prophesied, like the Lord mentioned, by Hamashiach Shai, our Lord and Savior, all right, in Matthew the 24th chapter, all right, so
if I'm not mistaken, the CDC, they were even shown like a false version of it, or like a pretend version in the video game.
A fictional
version. Let's see, this is the wiki entry for the video game Dead Rising. Real quick before I read it, the reason why we're bringing out, something like a video game to talk about this is, well, first off, art imitates life, and the things that you saw in this, in this game, is something that can very much happen in real life. Now, we're not saying that you're going to see actual, dead people walking around. That's not what we're talking about. But things such as quarantines, chipping stations, these are things that were found in the video game. Tracking devices such as a chip were in the video game, Mm-hmm. So right. This is the Wikipedia entry for Dead Rising 3. I'm going to read it from the top paragraph, Lord's will, we can insert the picture in the video. In Dead Rising 3, Zombrex has taken on a new form, which we know that's like supposed to be, so-called antidote. Has taken on a new form, Zombrex GPS chips.
Yeah, right. So, because in the plot in the game, obviously, it's it's not a post-apocalyptic game, but it's a game obviously centered around zombies, which is a very popular, I guess you could say, mythical creature, which it isn't far-fetched, but then again, more than likely, we're not going to have, of course, a zombie-like virus in the near future that turns people into, cannibalists, things like that. But you will have cannibalism in the near future, definitely. That's a biblical prophecy. All right, now I mentioned a fictional what's it called? A fictional vaccination, Zombrex, which really, it doesn't actually do anything towards the fictional virus in the game. Okay, and now
it's not a cure.
And you got this. Of course, it's a play on words of the real life Center of Disease Control, which they just call it the ZDC. Funny enough. Mm-hmm. And in this fictionalized thing, if you notice, the character at the end said that this chip, what was it called, the Zombrex GPS chips, has no use for me. But only to hunt me down as a dog. Because that was actually the plot twist of the game. The chips were never meant to help you out at all. Mm-hmm. All right, these RFID chips or the Zombrex chips, which actually had the false vaccinations in these chips. All right, it was all for nothing. It was all just for monetarization for the Edomites. All right, the so-called white man.
Yep.
All right, in his government and in his system. That's all they wanted to do. That was the plot twist. All right, to get to just hunt you down like an animal, or really first to quarantine you, then hunt you down, or vice versa.
Yeah, if I could say real quick. When we read the book of Revelation, real quick, just to show that in Revelation, what we read, how it said, I'm going to read it, Revelation 13 and 16, he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. Now, when you go into that word mark, it's charagma, which is a stamp or imprinted mark, okay? It says a stamp and imprinted mark, all right? Thing carved, sculpture, graven work, when you go to the root word, it's the word karax, which is a pale or stake or palisade or rampart. Basically something that you used. Karax, that would be something that you use to stick into something. Mm-hmm. And we know that word karagma means an imprinted mark.
Yeah, right.
AKA, we apply that's a chip.
Yeah, so it can be a spiritual form of a chip. It can be a chip with like a ghost effect on it. Mm-hmm. It's not anything like that. It's physical.
Very physical.
And it's so lucky, and it's already out there. Mm-hmm. All right, and of course, we're just waiting for the implementation. All right, made by law, by the federal government. Actually, if you keep reading the wiki,
I'm gonna keep reading in the Wikipedia entry for Dead Rising 3. These chips are designed to be surgically implanted under an infected person's skin.
Yeah, the brother just read it in the Greek, the charagma. All right, it's physical. Mm-hmm. All right, and what do you think the Edomites get it from? They get it from the scriptures.
Right.
All right, and they put it in your face in these video games.
Yeah, they always. I forgot where it was, but I heard somebody. It was it had to do something with the movie industry where, if you don't read the Bible, then basically you're not going to be able to make good movies and stuff like that.
Everything from Hollywood is from the scriptures.
Yeah, because they take they take things from the scriptures, man.
In entertainment.
Mm-hmm. We talked about it even at camp. The whole thing about having an evil brother. Where did that come from? You got evil twins. You have an evil twin brother. That came from the scriptures, man. Jacob and Esau, Cain and Abel.
Apocalypse events.
Yeah, apocalyptic events. So-called an alien invasion. Those things.
Zombie outbreaks.
Right.
Go figure.
Yeah. Continuing on in the wiki. These chips are designed to be surgically implanted under an infected person's skin.
Spot on from the scriptures.
Usually via the back, where there's a good concentration of body fat, and routinely dose them each day with Zombrex so they do not turn.
Yeah.
If they do turn, the chip tracks them via GPS.
Right. So what? And obviously that's of course it's fictional, but it could very well happen in this lifetime with the coronavirus. All right, they're gonna Bill Gates and these other eggheads are gonna find out these other vaccinations. All right, of course with the higher elites, all right, of the society. All right, the Edomites. All right, and they're gonna put these it's probably not even a cure. It's something that halts the process of the damn coronavirus. Put them in these chips. All right, and what?
So it's good for you.
And yeah, it's good for you. It's for your convenience.
Keep you from dying.
Right.
I even heard. I forgot. I think the bros mentioned it. The big brothers mentioned it at the camp about how they're already doing that where they might put that whole thing in chips that'll keep people, that have health issues, it'll keep their blood pressure down, or it'll help them with their insulin and stuff like that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they mentioned something like that.
They could definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be more for their benefit.
Yep,
it's like a side feature or something.
Yeah. It says he called. Yeah.
Same with their smartphones.
Yeah.
It's not just used for calling people. What is used? It's really convenient.
Yeah.
You could use it to look where you're at. Like I said, make calls, send texts, GPS. And it's all on your smartphone.
Yeah,
you can't do the same thing with these chips.
Yeah, and your own iPhone tracks where you're at, man. It knows your steps. It knows when you get off of work, go home from work, which route you take to work every day. And that's why the scriptures say, and he causeth all, both small and great, and rich and poor, and free and bond, to receive a mark, Because, let me see. The second part of the paragraph. It's also revealed that for infected U.S. citizens, Zombrex chipping has been made mandatory by federal law.
That is spot on, bro. And then guess what? That's what we're prophesying about. Yep. We're just waiting for this to come to pass in the real world, all right?
That's right.
Which is not just in the your virtual television, okay? And that's what we've been prophesying about. Prophesy means what to say before, and what we're saying that this is gonna happen. All right, something a very catastrophic event that's gonna cause. All right, which is that effect being the RFID microchip being made mandatory, which is the mark of the beast. All right, and that's the hot topic, especially coinciding with this virus that's going around. All right, and this is the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, and the devil gives you these subliminal messages, things are just that cannot be perceived with that eye, that spiritual eye. All right, because you got millions of people that can play games or watch movies, all right, and watch TV shows, all types of stuff. All right, and they hide it behind comedy. They hide it behind drama. All right, but it's right in front of your face. And guess what? It's biblical prophecy. All right, and it's gonna happen in our lifetime.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, because the scriptures say, that the Lord, reveals His secret unto His servants, the prophets. The Lord gave us the ability to see certain things, man. Now we have the ability to even see the art that Esau makes, and we correlate it to the scriptures. Second Esdras.
You finished that Revelations?
Finish it. Yeah, I finished in Revelations.
That's 12.
Oh no. So I didn't get to 17.
Go ahead.
Revelation. Do you want me to finish this?
No, that's 12.
Revelation chapter 13 and 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark.
Right.
Or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Yeah, right. So what? Everything is going to be connected with these chips. That's why we're waiting for the economical collapse of America. All right, this fiat currency, this currency that's backed by nothing, and that's why these chips are going to be that it's like that lifesaver for the economy, which is not. This economy is not looking at all magnificent because of this virus. All right, and it's dropped that we're in something known as that's called the correctional territory. All right, with the stocks actually dropped 20%. All right, and it hasn't, and these ratings and these stocks hasn't been seen since 2008, which we know in that year was the year of the recession. You gonna say something?
No, yeah, I was just gonna say, because the coronavirus has even been affecting the economy. All right, China is huge, as big as they are, and they're going through all of that. Well, who's the number one client for China? America. And if there's no money circulating with the fiat currency, if there's no money circulating, then it's through. Because it's already, a fiat currency. It's a faith-based currency. The only reason you can go buy something today is because you went and bought something yesterday. People are buying and spending. All right, keeps it going. But when nobody's buying, then you got issues coming.
You can get that in Corinthians. I'll get that in Esdras. This is Second Esdras chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people, the words of prophecy. And who was the Lord's people? It's Jacob, all right. Jacob, his name was later name changed. His name was later changed to Israel, all right. And what his being his descendants, the 12 tribes, was born out of his lineage, all right. Which today they're biblically called the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans via prophecy. According to the Bible,
being so called.
All right. So what we have to speak unto you these words of prophecy. All right. And remember, this is life and death. This is a very serious one. That's going to happen in this lifetime. All right. This is something that even our ancestors witnessed. All right. When they received these visions by the Lord. All right.
Yeah, they saw these things they received. If I could say real quick, because when you read the scriptures, you have to remember that these prophets were given visions from the Heavenly Father, and they wrote it down. Plain upon tables, like it says in Habakkuk, so that he, it says that he may run that readeth it. We're now in that time of reading it, man, and understanding what it's talking about and seeing it. All right.
Yeah, inspired by God. All right. Second Ezra 15:1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So what we're saying is true, and what the Lord put the Spirit on His men. All right, starting with our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. All right, to even tell you of these things. We just read in Revelations, which is a book of prophecy, all right, talking about the RFID chip. And what? This hasn't been implemented yet, but guess what? We just spoke about it, and it hasn't happened. Therefore, it's prophecy. It's inspired by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So therefore, what? We just warned you, and therefore you have no excuse in the latter times, all right? And for the sincere ones, we have to build up our faith in order to actually, reject this chip, all right? So we can get that in Corinthians.
Yeah, 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Yeah, we're not ignorant of this devil's devices, all right? That devil being the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. He put, like I mentioned before, he puts it in these games, of course, like I showed in the beginning of this video, all right? In these music videos, as well as even in music videos, right in front of your face. I remember Missy Elliott and her I think about the MTV Awards. Yeah, the chariots. She has so-called UFOs beaming up so-called Negroes. All right, which is very accurate depiction of what's going to happen even in the latter times, even after the chip, even after the devil's destruction. So lucky at the same time. All right, so these things, they're right in front of your face. But us as the prophets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, we notice it. We say, whoa, this lines up with biblical prophecy. This is biblical prophecy that they show you in the media, all right, in the movies, in the TV shows, and so on and so forth. All right, so we're not ignorant of his devices. We're not ignorant of his wiles. All right, his trickery, because that's the thing. They need that causeth in order to actually give you these chips. All right, because but you best believe you have Christians out there that actually know that's the mark of the beast. All right, and of course, what we as the prophets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, the true servants of the Lord, we know and we understand that the punishment, all right, and the consequence that comes with taking that chip. All right, it don't matter if we're at the other end of the barrel. All right, we know, like the scriptures say, we are not to fear them that can kill the body, but him that can kill the body and the soul.
That can destroy both.
In hell, in judgment. All right, so who can do that? The Lord. And you get the Revelations, right? Let's get it. Because there's heavy judgment that comes with this chip. And that's why it's very important to talk about this specific prophecy, because you have other Israelites, other individuals that would say that you can take it or that it's not the chip and things like this, but not knowing that this is huge. This
is the end all be all.
What you say, and when you have a flock behind you, a flock of people or a sheep that hear what you say, and it's the incorrect doctrine, all right, then you're leading them astray. You're literally leading them to death, or because the Lord told you that you cannot take this chip, and there nowhere is there repentance, all right. So you can get that in
Revelations 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand.
Yeah, right. So if you're a good old MAGA hat wearing Israelite, or because really Edom Esau is going to be destroyed nonetheless. All right, nevertheless. But if Israel is down with this man and his system, all right, and his image of democracy, right, homosexuality, equality, the so-called American dream, all right, then you best believe that the majority of Jacob is going to take this chip. All right, they're going to believe in his master Esau, Edom. All right, all right, going to believe into his that thief. All right, that devil. All right, and they're going to go right with him in bed and take this damn chip like it's nobody's business. Just like they do with the damn smartphones and Apple products. It's going to be the same thing with this chip, and in those dire situations concerning the outbreak and viruses.
Yep. if I could say real quick, because ultimately they trust in the shadow of Egypt, man. You know, they put their faith in Israel instead of putting their faith in Yahweh Shem Shai. And the chip, if I could say real quick, it's a very important prophecy, because when you read about the elect, which we know that the elect is those that are allotted deliverance, all right? It says in Revelations, the 15th chapter in the 2nd verse, they got the victory over the beast and his image and even his mark, you know, which the mark is the chip, you know. So I'm gonna keep reading. Verse 10, Revelation 14 and 10. The same, talking about those that take the mark, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
All that pain, all that flood of death is gonna come right towards you. You're gonna have to drink of that cup if you take that chip, all right? Because really, with that, although you may not say it with your words, you're doing it with your actions. And what do your actions show? You're saying that I don't believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and I believe in this man, in this carnal man, all right, in this devil, all right, and his system and his physical mark. All right, I'm gonna side with him instead of my power that actually loves me. That's essentially what you're doing if you were to take this chip. TMH. I'm gonna side with this man instead. All right, and like the brother mentioned, the elect got the victory over the mark. All right, meaning what, they didn't take it. All right, they got the victory because in that hour of temptation, all right, when the things are just collapsing all around us. All right, at the end of the day, we held fast our integrity and didn't take that chip. All right, like a true saint of Yahweh Shem Yahshai ought to do. And as it is written, those men that are allotted that lot, all right, to take up death manfully, as it is written, it's going to happen. It's going to occur in those times. All right.
I got the second Esdras. Second Esdras 15 and 12. So Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it.
Yeah, right. And what the brother mentioned, Egypt earlier, right? This is that new Egypt. This is because of course there's two Babylons according to the scriptures. All right, the old Babylon and then you got the new one, the spiritual Egypt. So the Lord's going to destroy this place physically, by the way, all right, with fire and brimstone. Okay, it will by the destruction and the lasers that come from the chariots by hand of our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
Yeah, because this is a spiritual Egypt. When you read Revelations 11 and 8, this place is a spiritual Egypt. It's a place of our captivity, and all the things that they do here. They do things that they did in Egypt, man, ancient Egypt. All right, because you got a pyramid on the back of the dollar bill. All right, you got actual pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee. Which Memphis, that's a city. That was a city in Egypt. You got the obelisk in Washington D.C. Okay, these are things that let us know that this is spiritual Egypt. You gotta look at it spiritually.
Yeah, and what is not only that, but what the Lord's people, all right, the Israelites are right here in the new Egypt again, but for the last time. All right, and the Lord spoke about that cup being passed to our enemies because the time is up. It's time to pay the piper. So the thing is, you got our people also that are gonna drink of that cup if you take that chip. All right, if you were down with his system. All right, if you want to have that Stockholm syndrome. All right, and just fully be down with this man. All right, but the Lord has a special judgment not only for the 2/3 out of the nation of Israel, but for our enemies. All right, so I'm gonna get this last precept and close out. This is Psalms 11 and 6. Upon the wicked, all right, Esau, Edom, the devil, all right, he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and a horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. All right, you see that? So fire and brimstone, thermonuclear missiles, as well as the lasers from the chariots that the Lord is gonna send upon Egypt. This is the punishment, all right, in that plague that the Lord is going to send to the valley in the shadow of death, right? The punishment for Egypt, all right. Now, all right, and not only for Esau, but the 2/3 that are down with this man and that are down with taking that chip, all right. But of course, with the saints, all right, it's going to be a total contrast, all right. And we're going to hold fast our integrity, Lord willing.
Yep.
And then nor will this virus and outbreak touch the Lord's men.
That's right.
So, Lord, that was edifying. All right, we want to give all praise and all honor and all glory to
Yahweh,
Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone GMS who were well and untouched this truth. And I also want to say, Shalom, Barakim, Labakarim, Shali Yashar, that's peace and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. And with that, I want to say Shalom.
Shalom.